Next up, we have an amazing speaker. He is David Siegel. He is the CEO of Cutting Through the Sound. He's going to talk to us about the road to digital money. Welcome, David.
Go, David.
Woo. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Max. Awesome event. I will promise to get you off to lunch as quickly as I can. Who wants decentralized finance? Who would like to see decentralized finance emerge and become mainstream? Anybody? No, 2 people? Okay, I guess I'm at the wrong place. I'm going to talk about stable coins, and I don't read my slides, so please pay attention. Stable against what? Stable against what? Against the evil currencies, fiat currencies that we all love to hate. That's what stable coins have to be stable against. Let's look at Tether. Tether is one that we don't really understand, and there's a lot of wackiness behind the scenes, but it's actually pretty stable. It goes between 99 cents and $1.01. It might all vaporize tomorrow, but it's actually been a pretty good product and is today the most traded by volume cryptocurrency in the market. What about DAI? Well, DAI is also pretty stable. It's between 98 cents and $1.02. The problem with DAI, it's a crypto collateralized stablecoin, is the price of its stability. Earlier this year, it cost 20% per year to make a DAI contract. That's expensive money. Right now, it's down to 10% per year to make DAI. That is not going to scale. So that's crypto collateralized. Stablecoins are probably not going to scale. So now, there's something that has scaled really well, and that's the dollar. And you want 2% inflation. You want to live in a world with 2% inflation, despite what some people recently said. At least Nouriel Roubini understands money. And those who understand money understand you want to live in a world with 2% consistent inflation. And look, the Fed has gotten pretty good. It's hard to see the lines here, but they are getting pretty close to 2% inflation. That gives a nice, stable, predictable increase in prices, which helps the economy. Here in the UK, the Bank of England, they're bouncing around. They don't really understand how it all works, but they're getting there, maybe by accident. But right now, it's at about 2% inflation. And I've talked on this stage before about how we can automate monetary policy using smart contracts. I won't go into that, but the basic idea is that you need to have stability. You need money in circulation and a reserve account that's out of circulation, and monetary policy that can move money. When there is a drop in aggregate demand, you want to pump money into circulation. When the economy is too hot and there's too much activity, you want to pull money out of circulation. That's what makes it stable. That's the stability. The cryptocurrencies won't give you that stability because they don't have the reserve and they don't have an elastic monetary policy. So let's talk about Libra. Libra is awesome. Libra is a great idea. It's a fantastic bridge to the technology of money we want. And if launched, Libra will have scale, which is a big deal. But Libra has a few rough edges, and so naturally regulators were concerned. In fact, regulators are trying to prevent money laundering, which is a big thing. They're here, they create the anti-money laundering laws that keep us safe. And these laws prevent money laundering. They don't? Okay, let's look at the situation then. Here we have, every year we spend $600 billion to comply with anti-money laundering laws. $600 billion on compliance and regulation. To catch, they interdict $3 billion each year, and every single year, $3 trillion is successfully laundered year after year after year since the Financial Action Task Force was formed to prevent money laundering. In fact, much of this is done through banks, and money launderers love it. It's less than a rounding error for them. It's about 0.1% of the cost of doing business. It enables and enfranchises people who are laundering money. They prefer it this way. All right, so let's look at another aspect of regulation, and that is the flow model, or the circulation model. And the first, I'm going to present two different models of circulation and regulation, and the first one is the cash model, where you have to interface with the crazy regulatory regime at the exchange, point of exchange, but then the wallets are it's a P2P system. These are open source protocols, and the coins can go wherever they want. So you could send them to some other wallet, to somebody in Zimbabwe, somebody in Venezuela, somebody in North Korea. That's fine. And then again, they have to do the useless AML, KYC stuff that doesn't work when they hit the exchange. That's the cash model, same as cash. But the other model is the e-money model. This is the model that PayPal and Venmo have to use, and it's a closed ecosystem. Okay, so the idea here is that these wallets are all controlled by a single company or a single service provider, and that service provider has to watch for suspicious activity in case you do something they don't want you to do, and has to report suspicious activity to the authorities to make sure that your transactions are legitimate. This would signal the end of end-to-end encryption. Okay, the FBI can already get all your Facebook posts you've ever made simply by asking. Now, with this model, the e-money model, the FBI would have access to all your transactions if this is the model that's enforced by regulators. So that makes all of our information available to governments. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions about Libra. For starters, Libra is not Facebook. The Libra Association will govern the system with one single vote for each participant in the system. No advantage to Facebook. It is not a threat to central banks. There is no chance of a run on Libra. It is not what most people say it is. It should be allowed to launch. It's an important experiment in the innovation of money, but the way things are going, it may not launch. And in that case, we all lose. I don't really care about Libra per se, but experiments like Libra should be allowed to be tried. We live in a world of weaponized regulation that is against innovation. So look, here's the roadmap to successful launch and delivery of digital money. No problem. It's pretty simple. But no matter what you do, if you do everything perfectly, you have to have scale. You have to have scale. In the money business, the first $100 billion worth is always the hardest, and you have to get over that hump to have money. And that's what's exciting about Libra. It's not just a good idea. It will have scale at the beginning, and that's necessary. So here's how I think it will play out. Getting money started is hard. I don't think it's going to be crypto collateralized. I think it will. We're already seeing a lot of work on asset collateralized coins. That's not really money. That's a store of value. We're seeing quite a bit of work at the wholesale level. That's Ripple and the JP Morgan and Wells Fargo coins and other bank-to-bank transfer systems. There's innovation there. And we're already seeing tokenized fiat at retail. We have the Circle coin and the True USD are already out there. They haven't scaled yet, but they're actually pretty well designed. And of course Libra, and I hope others. Then that will bridge us over to central bank digital currency, which China is about to launch, probably bank to bank at the beginning. But I think within a year or so, we'll see average Chinese people using their new digital currency. And it's much better than cash and the currency technology infrastructure we have today. Libra has already helped bring this to the attention of central banks, and many central banks are looking at it. That's exciting, but we need better regulation. So in 2 minutes, I'm going to ask for 2 important regulatory improvements that we can fight for. And the first one is to delete the Financial Action Task Force that governs AML and KYC. It hasn't worked. It has never worked. It's not going to work. It's not fixable. We have to get rid of it. This is at an international level. You can't do this piecemeal. one country by one country. And the second thing is to provide regulatory certainty around the cash model that I just showed. So this is the law I would like to see enacted in every jurisdiction. I'm going to read it. If a person has the private key, him or herself, no intermediary shall be required and no KYC or other identification is needed, just like cash. Anonymity is allowed. All tokenized assets may be freely transferred, just like cash. If you lose it, too bad, just like cash. If you want an intermediary, a custodian, you can. It's up to you, same as cash. It's not required, and it's not an arm of the surveillance state. And it's not a pawn in a game of surveillance capitalism. This has to be done at the G20 level, at the international level. It can't be done country by country. If we don't want Tether for the next 10 years, if we want true stablecoins to enable decentralized finance, we have to bring the bad guys to justice at the Financial Action Task Force and other regulators who are trying to hold us back and prevent innovation. We want to build an international platform for freedom and innovation. So if you want to get involved in this, connect to me. Come find me. Seek me out and help me and participate with me in the change that needs to come. We must bring overwhelming political willpower and common sense to a battle that we must win. Thank you.